Hi, Dave McIntosh here with another wildlife adventure for you. In this one, we are going to take a walk in a park and have a close encounter with some white-tailed deer. Before I get started, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to my channel. White-tailed deer are amazing animals and live throughout North America. They adapt to all kinds of different habitats. In Ontario, where I live, they live in wooded areas, though these areas can be small parks close to residential areas. They are herbivores, feeding on leaves and grasses, and when possible, they enjoy feeding on grains and corn in farmers' fields. Their diet does change with the seasons depending on the availability of food. They have a keen sense of smell and sight. This means they often know you are there before you have a chance to see them. The male or head of the herd will lift his nose in the air and be off and running before you even get a glimpse of them. Though when they get used to humans, like in city parks or near residential areas, they are not so skittish. I have had a couple close encounters with a herd in a park not far away that were absolutely amazing. One of the first times I went to this park, I had heard there were deer in the park. I was walking along the trail, taking my time and looking around. It was an early winter's day, and the park has some small hills, so I was taking my time because the snow-covered ground was slippery. I came to the top of a small hill and rested for a minute. Standing there and looking around, I saw 2 ears sticking up over a log. I instantly knew what it was, and I stepped off the side of the trail and leaned against a tree. Then I started capturing what I could see of the deer. After a few minutes, I would take a few steps and lean against another tree and move closer and to get a better vantage point to take pictures of them. Gradually, I managed to get several good photos. The whole time I was doing this, people were walking along the trail talking while walking their dogs, which were barking, but the deer paid no attention to them, even though they were only 50 to 75 feet away. Another time, I visited the same park to try again to capture some photos of the deer, and it was an experience I will never forget. I had walked slowly into the park, constantly looking through the woods, trying to get a glimpse of movement. Then I saw them, off in the distance, walking in my direction. I couldn't believe my eyes. There were 6 or 8 of them, slowly walking my way, browsing on leaves as they walked along. At the back of the herd was a big buck, constantly looking around with his nose in the air. Again this time, I stepped a few feet off the trail and leaned against a tree, hoping they would continue to come my way. I was not disappointed. They came closer and closer. My heart was racing. I had my camera up, trying to capture every moment, at the same time trying not to move. Then one of the deer turned and came straight towards me. Every once in a while, it would lift its nose and look straight at me, but then would continue to browse and continue on towards me. I'm sure at one point this deer came within 20 feet of me. I couldn't believe that it was not spooked. In fact, none of them were spooked while I was there taking their pictures. And then it turned and walked away. I continued to photograph them as they continued on their way until I felt they were far enough away that I would not disturb them if I moved. Then I eased back and left them alone and went on my way. So it took me a while to get my heart to calm down. I will never forget that day. I hope to see you next time while I take you on another one of my wildlife adventures.